Hi Vid, it's Claire from Handmade at Hudson's, and this is a project into this that I'm going to show you how to make today. So this was inspired by an absolutely gorgeous card which I saw on Facebook by Helen de Bruijn, and she's one of the artisan design team. So it will be on any of the Stampin' Up Facebook pages, or the official Stampin' Up Facebook pages, and it's a gorgeous card which uses the tree, and then it has I think it's red and white, but it's just stunning, and this was the inspiration for this card. Now this card uses a gorgeous stencil from my favourite thing, and this is the Snowfall stencil, and then as well as the stencil I have used some embossing paste. So this is just the normal embossing paste and not the sparkly one. Now I did try to show you how to make it this morning using the embossing paste and stencil, apart from it went a bit wrong and my spatula broke. It's not a Stampin' Up one, it's one I got from the range or the pound shop. So I have decided to cut my losses on that one and show you a different way to create a snow background. So what you'll need to make a card similar to this is a card base. So I have gone for Night of Navy. I've got a scrap of Night of Navy for my sentiment. I have got my centre of my card. Now, what I would say with card bases is do whatever size card base that you normally do, and then this one is, I think it's about half a centimetre shorter and narrower, or a quarter of an inch shorter and narrower, but I will put the sizes in below. So I've got, as I said, a scrap for the sentiment. Then I have got my garden green for my tree that will go through my mini cut emboss. And I have laid that on some foam adhesive sheets. Now you could just use normal foam and double-sided tape, that works. I have got some glimmer paper and I've got some gold foil because I haven't quite decided what star I'm going to put on. I might put some glimmer paper, but you could use any glitter that you've got at all, any glitter paper, etc. I'm just trying to use up, or trying to use this up. Okay, so the other things that you will need is a Night of Navy ink pad for the piece of card for the inside, and then I'm very remiss, I haven't told you what stamp sets I'm using. So I'm using the Bright Baubles stamp set, and I am using the Delicate Bauble dies, and we're just using this Christmas tree, which is absolutely gorgeous, and I'm using this Merry and Bright Baubles avalanche. Sorry, my craft room is so tidy it's causing an avalanche. So I'm using this Merry and Bright, and then to do the heat embossing you will need your Versamark. I've got my Merry and Bright on my D block. You'll need your heat tool, and of course please don't forget a embossing buddy or another powder tool that will prevent static. And then I also have some white embossing powder in this container. Now this is no longer really white, it is a random combination of lots of different things. I think there's actually some clear embossing powder in here, so I really do need to get some more white embossing powder. I have no idea what I've been doing with this, but it'll do. Anyhow, let's take this out and then we'll talk about our card front. So as I said before, this original card uses a stencil and embossing paste. Now you might think, what if I haven't got a stencil or embossing paste? So linked in below will be my video on how to make snow backgrounds. So I've got a few alternatives for you. So the instructions for these are in that video. So we have got just a dotty background, which is just, I've just done using a jelly roll pen, and you can also do that using your Stampin' Chalk marker and your white ink and your blender pen. Then I have got heat embossing, so I've got white heat embossing. Then I have got stamping. So this and this are from the Snowman Season stamp set, but you can do this with any snowflakes. So that is just purely white stamping with the white crafting. This is flicking with the white crafting and water, and this is flicking. So this is either with water and the frosty white all-purpose ink, or it's just all-purpose ink by itself. But these have actually retired, but you can find them on Amazon or other shops. They are very widely available. So today I'm going to be using this one as my background, and this is going to go on my Night of Navy card. Now if I thought about this previously I probably would have made this piece of card a card base, but I didn't. So what I would tend to do is to, if you're going to make a card like this, make all your card bases in whatever colours you want to, leave them to dry probably overnight, and then come back the next day and finish off making everything else on the card. So I am just going to add in my card insert, and as you can see, I have been having issues with my Night of Navy, but we all make mistakes. So that was actually fingerprints. Woo! So that's the fun I've been having this afternoon, hence it's pre-stamped. It's still a bit dodgy. And then I'm just going to stick this onto the front, and then we can have a look and see if we need to do some trimming. And my ink's out. So as you can tell, this is, I'm just going to glue this to the front of my card. As I said, you would normally make your card base, or do this onto your card base rather than adding your card on. I think that looks quite cool. Okay, so we've now got our card base ready, and we just need to do our cutting. So let's move that to a side. Let's put that there. So we have got our garden green with foam on the back, and we have got our tree, which is here. And I am going to put my tree here, I think, to stay on the foam. I think it's that side with no foam. Yep. So I am just going to stick that down with some tape. This is the Crafter's Companion one. And because we're not actually using all the dye, we can stick that down just as we would normally. And there's another avalanche. And then I have got my plates. So I've got my number 3 and 2 2s there, and I'm just going to put that to one side. And then I have got my dinky tool. Right, so I'm going to speed up through this, so I shall see you in a second. And I've just remembered something. So I said last time that it really isn't a good plan to cut the tree first, because then you are trying to push the tree out and put it onto the card at the same time. So what you actually want to do is to do your sparkly thing first. And what I'm actually going to do is just add that there, because I don't want, oh, I want a star actually. So I'm just going to add that there and run that through at the top, because I don't want the whole amount. So what happened last time, and I did realise this, is because I'd run the tree through first, it was really difficult. And this should go through. It's just literally, I've not put it in far enough. There we go. Right, I will fast forward this. So that's my die cutting done. So I am just going to take that out and put that to one side. So there's Dinky gone. So let's put these to one side as well. Then we've just got our last plate. We're just going to take this off. Okay. So the good thing about using foam is that it stays in the shape quite well. So we want to be pressing out the bits that we don't want. Let's take this off. There we go. And as you can see, the tape is really strong. So you really do, if you're going to use it for actually something, you really do need to ensure that, make sure you don't take the back off. If you're going to use it for something, you really do need to make sure that it is had its sticky removed. So let's just get a pair of tweezers, pop out the bits that we don't want. Let's not remove the sticky yet, which is what I've done here. Let's see if I can get this out without removing the backing, which I probably, please let me know if you can hear Thomas in the background. Comment below if you can, because he's currently being noisy again. let me get a poker tool. So let's poke these out. Let's get rid of the star, I don't want that. Okay, so let's pull this out and hope. Yep, so most of the bits stayed in place. The only one that didn't was that one. Let's just push that back in. Right, so the next thing we're going to do is cut off the excess. So let's get rid of all of this and put it in the bin. Right, so let's cut off all the excess. So you want to choose your glue scissors, if you have any glue scissors. If you don't want to wreck your real scissors. And then we're just going to cut around there, and then around there, around there. Let's take that bit off, and that bit. Then we're going to cut up there, and we're going to cut the star off at the top because we're going to add a different star. And there we have our tree cut out. And then you might just want to ensure that it's a bit tidier. And I have moved that piece, so let's try and see if we can wiggle it back into space. Right, so the next thing you're going to do is to take off the back as best you can. So that was an obvious one, that one wasn't going to come off. And I'm going to leave that other one in because otherwise it's going to wreck it. Actually, I might take it out. So let's take this out. Take the backing off. Oh, move that and add that to the centre of your card. That will do. And then I'm just going to place this one back in. Try and get that in the right place. Oh, that worked quite well actually. And then you're going to take your star and you're going to add that to the top of your tree. Hopefully it will work. There you go. So we have got our tree on a snow background rather than on a stencil background. So the last thing we're going to do is the sentiment, and I probably should have done this earlier when I had my inks out, but I'm not really concentrating. So let's put our die away before I lose that, and let's put the excess in the bin that we don't need. So as I said, the foam is good because it will hold the shape well, and I think that looks really rather cute. So before I do some stamping, I'm actually going to put some Wink of Stella onto my tree. It's a bit dry, so I'm just going to bring this in, just squeeze. Let's try that. That's better. I've got 3 Winks of Stellas on the go and I can never remember which one is actually working properly. Ooh, what do we think? Can you see the sparkle? I can. Probably need a new one. And I really don't know where my other one is. Let's go off piste. So this is a, oh, missed. So this is a Crafter's Companion sparkle pen. I have a collection of all of them. I've got to say I prefer the Wink of Stella. I feel like the Wink of Stella gives a better sparkle, but that will do. Right, so we've got a sparkly tree, and now we're just going to heat and bath. So I have got my piece of paper, which as you can tell we've been inking on. So I am going to use this side, and I'm going to use this bottom bit. I am going to take my embossing buddy. I have got my Versamark, and I have got my stamp. So all I'm going to do is ink up my Merry and Bright. Try and stamp that straight. Not convinced it's straight, but we can sort that out. Okay, so I have got my white heat embossing powder. open it up, add that up. And then there are a number of things you can do if you've got any excess powder. So if you've got lots, you can use a pet brush. I tend to blow and tap. Okay, so I'm going to heat that up and I shall be back in a jiffy. Ta-da! So I've got Merry and Bright, definitely not straight. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my... So I can't decide whether I'm going to take my trimmer or my guillotine. I think I'm just going to do my guillotine. Right, okay. Let's see if I can do this. So I'm just lining my Merry and Bright up with the edge. And then I'm going to line the Merry and Bright up with the edge. And I think last time I worked out that it sits back there. And then I'm going to line this up with the edge. And then the edge. So hopefully that should now be straighter. And I think this needs a little bit of work. So let's see if I can get this in. That's when I need my mini. That's better. Okay, so we've now got a Merry and Bright. And that's not right now. Woo. Let's see. This may take a while. I hate sentiments for this reason and prefer the ones that I can put through a punch. Let's see. That's better. Merry and Bright, better. Right, so to finish it off, I am going to add this to my tree. And I am going to add my leftover foam squares to make sure that it's the right height. So I have got my, again, so these are my adhesive stickers, because I don't want to wreck my proper scissors using adhesive on them. So I'm just going to add those on there. So the good thing about using the leftovers is that it means that it is the right height and you're not got a random different height sentiment. So there we have our Merry and Bright on our card. So there you go. I'm hoping to give a few more examples probably on Tuesday. But here you go. So we've got the stencil from my favourite things and the embossing paste, and we have got flicked white pigment ink, and then we've just got the tree, which is stunningly gorgeous. So all the sizes and dimensions will be linked in below, as well as all the items that I've used and the name of the items that I've used that are non-Stampin' Up. Hope it's inspired you to create a gorgeous Christmas card, and hopefully probably next year I will give you a few more tips to create snow backgrounds other than the ones that I have created in the video linked in below. Thank you, bye.